Hi friends, my name is Jake. Welcome to Canadian Cutting Edge. As you saw in the thumbnail, we've got a Sencut knife. This is the episode SA04A through E, the last letter A through E. There's 5 different versions of this. 3 of them have G10 and 2 of them have Micarta. $42.50 for the G10 versions, $44 US for the Micarta versions. I'm in contact with Sencut. If I get a discount code for you, it's on the screen. If I only get something after this video is published, it'll be down in the comments. I'll do it in the top comment, I'll let you know, and in the video description below the video, I'll let you know about any discounts I can give you guys. Or referral links that I can give you guys. That way, if you use my referral links, it helps the channel out in the long run. This is quite the knife. I'm very fond of it. We've got sort of a harpoon style blade here, a high flat grind, not quite a full flat grind, and a full-size handle. Quite interesting. Nice and thin, quite light for what you get, and a decent liner lock. You want a close look at it? Let's get to the tabletop and check it out. So here we go. Take a good look at that thing. I think it looks great. Like I said, it comes other ways. Let's take a look at the different colors. Here's the 2 Micarta versions you can get and the 3 different G10 versions you can get. Let's do a size comparison with the Ontario Rat 1. The Rat is a slightly bigger knife. The handle comes out just a little bit further. Blade comes out just a little bit further. But it's a little bit thicker as well than this guy. And it looks like you get over a 1/4 inch more cutting edge on this guy. That's really nice to see. I like the shape of this blade. What we've got is a nice upsweep here where your thumb rest is. Lots of jimping there. More jimping than most knives have where your thumb rest is. And then we've got that clip point here with a swedge on it. So it's basically a harpoon style, maybe a little bit like a buoy style blade. High flat grind, not quite to the spine. There's a little bit of maybe 1/8 of an inch wide section right there, maybe a little bit more than that. That's flat and it comes back. The logo Sencut on this side here. I'd like it if that was a little bit smaller and put up on the flats, but hey, it's not too bad right there. It's not like it's huge like a lot of companies do with their knives. The blade comes down, it starts tapering from here down to the tip. It's quite thin at the tip, so don't be prying things with this knife. You might break the tip. I don't mind that it's this fine. I really quite like it. Very delicate for doing precise work if you want to. Sneaking up and stuff. It's got a very heavy black wash on it, but hey, it looks okay. Right here on the ricasso is the steel type 9Cr18MoV. Hey, a good budget steel if I say so myself, and I do say so myself. I like it quite a lot. I'm happy with the stainless steel. The sharpener's choil, it's just barely big enough. We've got a slight chamfer on the side here. That helps things not get caught in that little choil. Very comfortable to hold this knife. Very easy to use it to do hard, firm cutting because of this thumb rest. The handle, it's got an arch back here, like a bent back, which is very nice for fitting into the palm of the hand. When you're holding it, that fits right nicely. Chamfered edges all the way around. We've got 2 lines milled in here for decoration. They do help a little bit for grip as well, but they're mostly decorative. And the liners here have the black coating as well. They're soft and round. There's no sharp edges back here. Got a back spacer with a lanyard pin back there. I like that. That's very well made. So when you're holding the knife like this, the paracord comes out the back instead of pushing into the palm of your hand. So well done. That's a really nice design. And T8 screws. Very nice. T8 screw up here, but we've got a T8 head on both sides. So I'm not sure if this is going to be a free spin pivot pin or not. We'll find out when I do a teardown, and I do that in all my reviews, so we'll see that later on. There is one tiny little flaw on the anodizing right there. There's a tiny little dot on the screw on this side. I've tried to wipe it off and it's not coming off. Or the coating, I mean, that they put on, not anodizing, it's black. They don't anodize black. The coating that they put on there, at least I don't think they anodize black. Boy, oh boy, I'm rambling now, aren't I? Anyhow, tiniest little mark there, very hard to see. No big deal at all. I don't mind at all, especially on the price point of these. You know, the low 40s for this knife, $42.50. Free shipping within the United States for this, by the way, at Sencut.com. And it's nice. I quite like it. The pocket clip, you've got T6 screws there on the pocket clip, but they do sink in quite a bit. I've checked with my, here's a screwdriver back here. Nope, that's a T8. Here's one of my T6s. I've checked in there and it sinks in well enough. It's doubtful that they're going to strip out. You know, I haven't taken it apart yet, but the screws seem okay. Although I much prefer T8s, and these sink in there and there's very little play and it's nice and deep. I really like those screws. They're the same screws that they use at Civivi, because Civivi, you know, is a sibling company to this, and they use the same factory. They've got totally different designers and everything, and administration for the company, according to the rep from Sencut that I've been communicating with. But since they use the same factory, they've got some of the same hardware. So there's that. Lockup pivot. It's, if I push the pivot pin out of the way, it's hard to do here and give freedom to the, it's hard for me to push it out of the way and watch this fall, but when I push the pin away, see, it's just free. It's just free to move. So that means we've got some nice ball bearings in there. Other than that, the detent holds it where it is when it stops, but that's nice. That detent, very firm, but not over firm. The flipper tab, we've got jimping on the end of the flipping tab, goes right to the top, so you can just pull from the top and it just flies out properly, or from the side, pushing down on an angle. It's very easy to use that flipper, so I quite like that. Lockup, it's very much like I like to see on a new knife. With that being all black in there, and the actual lockup point is quite a ways down out of the way, so I can't get a good shot of that, but hopefully with the shot that I have close up, you can see that lockup's exactly what I like it to be. You've still got lots of room to wear over, but it's totally securely locked, so I like that. Some sort of quasi jimping on the top of the lock release. Not a lot of access here to get at it, but enough to get at it to get in there and release that lock. Right hand or left hand, it works just fine. So very happy with that. And we've got the left hand pocket clip as well option, without having a big hole here, so that's quite nice. You want to see how well it works going into the pocket? All right, let's show that off. We've got a flat spot on the top there. It climbs over, climbs in, and it holds it. Very well done. There is a lot of room in there, so it's only holding it right there. So lots of movement, freedom over there. They could have made this pocket clip a little bit smaller this way, and it would still be fine, but it's not hot in the hand. It's just fine where it is. So that's really well done. I like the construction. It's just a good design. It cuts well too. The sharpening from the factory, not so good, but it's nice and thin behind the grind. So they made the blanks really nice and ideal, quite thin. Not super thin, but it's thin enough to be, you know, within the tolerances of what I like. And you can sharpen it yourself. Hopefully you can. If you can't, you need to get on that. Watch my sharpening videos and maybe get yourself a nice sharpening system. The best place to shop for those is gritomatic.com, so check them out. So yeah, nicely done. Let's take the thing apart now and see how they constructed it. So there you go, we've got it apart. You can see there's a tiny little bit of blue on this screw. So they've used a little bit of Loctite on there, but not on the pivot pin. It is a free spinning pivot pin, so you're going to need to have a little vise. I've got a little vise, table vise like this that just sits on the table, and I use that to hold my knives. That way I can use a screwdriver from either side safely and confidently, just take it apart. No risks at all that anything's going to go wacko. I've got links down below if you're looking for a nice little table vise at a very good price. We've got our big stop pin right there. Not big, big enough is what I should say. We've got phosphor bronze cage on ceramic ball bearings. Check that out. They are nice. Lightly oiled, very nice. Lots of skeletonizing here, lots of skeletonizing there. That helps. Oh, I didn't show the balance point. I'll do that after I put it back together. The access to the lanyard right there, very well made. And they've got these step pins back here. So if you don't like a backspacer, you can put it back together. Let me click that in place. There we go. Like that. And you can still use your lanyard back here and have open pillar construction. There have been a number of knives lately that I've reviewed that have them made that way, which is quite nice. So it gives you the option, because I know some guys don't like backspacers. And here's one of the screws from the pocket clip. They come in two different lengths. So one of them's shorter because it just goes through the body of the liner, and the other one's got to go through the liner and down into the screw. So that one's a little bit longer. And I showed you before, it's right and left friendly. So pretty good. I do wish it was not a free spinning pivot, but I do like that the pin is completely round. There is advantages to not having a D-shaped pin. A fully round pin and a fully round hole, it just has better mechanics of sliding around than it does if it's interrupted. I don't know if it's really all that noticeable on a knife, but technically it works better that way. So there you go. Decent construction. Quite nice indeed. So I'll finish putting it back together and then we'll keep talking. I said I'd show you the balance point. It's right about where those lines are. So that's not bad. I wish it was a little closer, but yeah, that's just fine. I don't think I showed before the alignment when it's closed. It's right down the middle. Just about perfect blade alignment, which is really nice. Ooh, that's even better now. I cleaned it up and I put my own oil in there and it feels better. No blade play side to side. That was before already. So we've covered all those things. Let's go through all the specs, the really specific measurements. 9Cr18MoV, yeah, that's about 0.9% carbon on here, which is really nice. About 18% chromium, keeps it stainless. It's a good budget steel. Rockwell on this thing's around 59. You can get it up to 60 with this. It's just nice. The weight of this knife, 107 grams, 3.75 ounces, thanks to a lot of that skeletonizing in that thin G10. How sharp was it from the factory? Well, it got a decent score, a little better than average, 125 best. The cutting edge length, 90.9 millimeters, 3.58 inches. Blade length, tip to the closest spot on the handle. It's actually a little bit less, 88.2 millimeters, which is 3.47 inches. The blade thickness, 2.92 millimeters, which is 0.115 of an inch, so just a bit less than 1/8 of an inch. The blade depth, the widest point is right here at this peak, 29.9 millimeters, 1.18 inches. How thin is it behind the grind? I measured it in about 3 places. It averages out to 0.5 millimeter, 20 thousandths of an inch. So that's just within the specs of what I like. A little thinner would be a little bit better, but hey, 20 thousandths, that's quite nice. The grind angles. Well, this side averages to 23.8, and this side averages to 25. So it's a little bit too broad. I'd like it to be shallower. 9Cr18MoV could handle 18 degrees per side. The actual measurements, well, this side, it started at 20.9, went to 23.9, ended at 26.5. That's, what is it, 5.6 degrees of variation along here. That's not very good. That's why I said the sharpening was not done all that well. This side was done a little bit better. Started at 25.4, went to about 24.3, went to 25.2, but then at the very heel, just the last, couple 16ths, eighth of an inch, that is, I guess, it went to 28.3. That's just the way it is in this industry. You're not going to find knives that are sharpened much better than this, unfortunately. It is one of my hobby horses to talk about sharpening, and I want to force knife companies to start doing machine sharpening, where a CNC machine of some sort does the sharpening so you get exactly the angle you want. Because humans, can be wiggling while they're sharpening, and that creates, funny things like a really steep angle right at the very end, and, thicker, but bigger here than it is here than it is here. They're just wobbling away. I don't blame Sencut on that, because every knife company that's in this price range does the same thing. And that's just the way it is. So, Sencut, I'm not picking on you. That's just the way it goes, right? Back to my measurements. I was talking about this. Handle length. Handle length is 117 millimeters, 4.61 inches. Ooh, hit my thumb on that. The grip area right here, it's about 9¼ centimeters, about 3.6 inches. The thickness of the handle, it's 11.95 millimeters. That's 0.47 of an inch. So yeah, like I said, it's thin, under half an inch. The handle depth, the widest point within the grip is right there, and that is 24.7 millimeters, 0.973 of an inch. When the knife is closed, the widest point is right here, where you got that point from the blade, 37.6 millimeters, 1.48 inches. And when the knife is open, haven't done this for a couple weeks, but I did it again, 205 millimeters, which equals that many inches. Proportions on this is pretty good. The blade to the handle, those are quite good proportions. What are my summary thoughts on this thing? You could do a whole lot worse for $42.50 American. I'm telling you, this is a very good knife. I am very happy with Sencut. I'm going to be reviewing more of their knives. I've got 2 more here already, and I've got 3 more on the way in the mail, and I am liking what I see and feel. Are they perfect? No, but boy, oh boy, these are good knives. The action is so smooth. Pocket clips, very nice. Flush screws right there. Flush body screws. Nice texture, no sharp things on the handle, great lanyard hole. Nice hand feel, good thumb rest. I really like that extra jimping. The blade, high flat grind, very precise tip, sharpness choils adequate. I like this knife. I really like this knife a lot. If I could afford to keep all the knives I review, this would definitely be a keeper. I don't know if I'll be able to keep this guy, but yeah, I'd really like to. There was that fixed blade that I reviewed the other week, a Civivi, right? Remember the Civivi Elementum? I'm keeping that knife, and I can usually only keep about 1 knife per month. I just don't have the budget for it. If you want to support the channel, there's a couple things you can do. You can let the advertisements play a little bit. You can uninstall or turn off your ad blocker when you're watching my channel, because ad blockers do take money away from the creators, because the advertisements that would go on the screen, they never happen. And so YouTube doesn't have to pay the advertisers for advertisements that don't show up. And I only get paid if advertisements show up on your screen. So if you really hate advertisements, consider using YouTube Premium. That's what I've done. And, it's a good feeling that I know I'm not taking money out of creators' hands, out of their wallets. Or you can go to patreon.com/CCE and support the channel, or click join on any of the below the videos on my channel. And that'll get you towards supporting the channel with a monthly support. I very much appreciate your help. So thanks for watching my video. Thanks for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. All those things do help the channel. So thank you for commenting. Even if you just say hi, every little bit helps. Helps the algorithm know that the video is worth promoting to other people. So thank you. And remember, friends, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb. Bye for now.